Hey, it's Fat Albert. Listen, man, listen. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker News you can trust. Yeah, man. Biker News you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. We are not fake news.
You are fake news.
We are not fake news.
You are fake news.
No, we're Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker News
You are fake news.
you can trust. Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker News you can trust. Anyway, for those of you just not tuning in, we cover biker news in the mornings, about 10-ish, and MC Protocol and stuff like that in the afternoons and stuff. Been doing this now since a long time. I've been doing biker news for longer than many of you have even been in motorcycle clubs. I've been doing biker news since 2000, since 95, 93, maybe 1993. I think I've been doing biker news since 1993. Before there was YouTube, before there was Facebook, before, I think maybe right about the time Facebook started. Back when there was CompuServe. You guys don't know anything about CompuServe. Don't act like you know. Don't act like you know about Prodigy. Don't even be acting like that. Don't act like you know about bulletin boards. You don't know about bulletin boards. That's how long I've been doing news. I've been doing news. I got my first camera in 1987. I was a photographer shooting locusts and birds and praying mantis. And I was a true photographer then about 1987 and a half. The first model took her clothes off in front of my camera. That changed me. That turned me from a photographer to just a regular old GWC guy with camera. And somewhere after that, I wrote my first news story. And that had to be 88 or something, 89. And I got my first press pass from American Image Press, which took me all over San Diego and California and then throughout the world with my camera. I even went to the riots in 1993 and covered the Watts riots of 93. I think it was 93, 94, something like that. And somewhere in there, I started shooting biker news. And what's this? Any of this got to do with anything, Black Dragon? One might ask. Because today's story kind of touches me as a photographer, as a reporter, as a mainline reporter. I've owned 13 magazines. Did you guys know that? One of my first magazines was called Black Iron Motorcycle Magazine. Then I owned Urban Biker Cycle News. This was back, as a matter of fact, it was Black Iron Motorcycle Magazine that got me the movie Biker Boys in like 1999. Some of you guys didn't know that I was actually a consultant on that movie. I was a technical advisor. I was actually in the movie. There's plenty of video of me. Here's some right here. There. That's Lawrence Fishburne looking at the booty. That's me right there next to the fine model. Yeah. It was my work as a reporter that actually got me on that movie. I've been a reporter for a long time. This ain't new to me. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Be acting like I haven't been a reporter for a damn long time. And I've met so many, like if you were to just go through my pictures of Black Dragon with movie stars and stuff like that, it's just ridiculous. The Steve Harveys and stuff I've met, and presidents, and on and on and on. So I'm kind of miffed at this story. I'm kind of mad at it. I'm on the side of the bikers, and then I'm not. As a photographer, as a mainline reporter, as a person who during the pandemic, I was an essential. I don't know about y'all. You guys were all you non-essentials when they wouldn't let y'all non-essentials get on the road and made y'all stay home. What you guys do, you weren't important. The freeways were free here in Atlanta for a while. You could go and come from point A to point B in 10 minutes or less because the non-essentials were off the road. You were nowhere. Now you're back and we can't get anywhere. Hey, listen, thank you for that wonderful super trucking goose. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, hit me at Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com. And we can holler. There's my address right there, Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com. So I am this next story, this story today just kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Listen, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it on so many levels. But we'll get into it right now at time 07:55 into the show. 07:55, 7:56. We will get into the story. And the story is interesting. Bikers working with the police department. Not just bikers, but bikers in clubs. I got to get a little tea. Got to drink me a little tea. So, bikers who claim to be working with the Uvalde Police Department threatened to arrest journalists trying to cover the funeral for victims of last week's Robb Elementary School shooting. This happened, I don't know, about 5 or 6 days ago, I guess. And we've had so much going on, we didn't get a chance to cover it. And this is affecting me, not just me, but you guys, my readers, because like 10 people sent me this. Black Dragon, can you believe it? That motorcycle club bikers coordinated with police to play interference with members of the press. Here we have, and it was, I think, 3 clubs that were accused of doing this. One is the Marines MC. And though I'm mad at the coverage, I can't really be mad at the Marines MC, even though, I mean, because, Marines worked for us in the Navy. They were, we had them to do things that we didn't want to do because they're Marines and they work for us in the Navy. They work for us. Okay. They're Department of the Navy. That means they're ours. Okay. They always want to say, yeah, we're the male portion of the Department of the Navy. Whatever. You work for us. We take you there. We drop your ass off. And then we come back and get you. When we feel like it. I mean, I'm not mad at the devil dogs. We need them. I'm not fixing to storm no beachhead. I'm not. Are you? But them devil dogs will do it. They're like Mikey. They'll eat anything. Well, I really can't be mad at the Marines MC because they came to our funeral and they stood tall. And I love them for that. I thank them for that. And to that one kid that asked me for a autograph or a picture, I got pulled away, and I want you to know that I came back to find you to get you that picture, but you were already gone. But I promise you that picture. We will do that together when we see each other again. But so I can't be mad. So of the three groups, I'll decide not to be mad at the Marines MC. But the other thing, though, the other folks, though, I can't say I'm not mad at them. So bikers who claim to be working with the Uvalde police threatened to arrest journalists. This is crazy to me. Bikers threatened to arrest journalists. I mean, did we forget what side of the equation our cookie is buttered on? Isn't this in Texas where cops are always messing with bikers too? But it happened. Bikers who claim to be working with the Uvalde police threatened to arrest journalists trying to cover the funeral for victims of last week's Robb Elementary School shooting. Police and bikers told members of the press covering the Thursday ceremony outside Rushing Estates Knowles Mortuary that they would be arrested for stepping outside of designated areas, according to the Chronicle. Even though members of the media were covering the memorial from a distance, bikers physically obstructed cameras and followed reporters, the paper also reports, working as the henchmen for the police department. Whew. This is common enemies make strange bedfellows. In the piece, Chronicle reporter Julian Gill characterized the scene as a reflection of the community's exhaustion from a barrage of media attention since a shooter last week took the lives of 19 children. Even so, in a tweet, Gill appeared to vent his own frustration, saying he was trying to be respectful with everyone's fresh grief. He added, police still thought it was necessary to coordinate with bikers to order reporters to stay on the sidewalk and physically obstruct cameras. Really? He said, really? This is a quote. Really? Julian Gill, here's his, we can see his, I guess this is his Instagram, not Instagram, but his Twitter feed. He types, I'm here in Uvalde trying to be respectful with everyone's fresh grief. Standing outside while a funeral is going on, police still thought it was necessary to coordinate with bikers to order reporters to stay on the sidewalk and physically obstruct cameras. Really? He's taking some pictures here. We'll go to his Twitter feed and look at these pictures he's taken of these bikers. This is the sergeant at arms. And, your boy over here with a cane, he will bust your ass with that cane. I want you to know. So these are these folks that have been deputized, as it were, to work for the police department to keep people off the roads. And this is also coming from his Twitter feed where so this must be the clubs that were working with the cops. Here they Boy, don't you just love the sound of all them raggedy ass hogs? Anyway, American police culture is so deeply insular and protected from any accountability. They constantly behave in ways that should be hugely detrimental to their standing in society, says Sarah Wampler, replying to Julian Gill. American police culture is so deeply insular and protected from any accountability, they constantly behave in a way that should be hugely detrimental to their standing in society. A lot of people were upset by this. One bike club member who declined to give her name told the Chronicle she was part of a group called the Guardians of the Children that was working with the Uvalde Police Department. So I don't know if that was a motorcycle club or not, the Guardians of the Children. Maybe they're just bikers. The paper also identified other clubs, including Thin Blue Line LEMC. Aha! Well, there you have it. Thin Blue Line LEMC. Well, we can see why they would be helping the police. And then the Marines MC, who I'm not mad at, whose members attempted to corral the press. The reported coordination of Uvalde police with the biker groups came after CNN correspondent Shimon Prokupecz shared a video Wednesday of law enforcement officials there threatening to charge members of the media with trespassing if they didn't leave the school district headquarters. Just so that you know, Uvalde PD is en route, and once they get here, they will start issuing criminal trespasses for the property, one of the officers says in the clip. Uvalde law enforcement officials have drawn scrutiny for their handling of last week's shooting. So, you know, they love the press. And you know, because I am press, this presses me off. I mean, pisses me off. This presses me off because, boy, they want to run out to the press whenever they arrest some Hell's Angels or Banditos or somebody or some Mongols or something, and throw all their shit on the tables, and oh my goodness, like those guys when they arrested those pagans down there in Florida, and they got all this stuff on the table, and none of it is illegal. Boy, they run to the press then. The press is they just love the press then when they want to negatively say that some club is doing this, that, or the other. So I just can't see how motorcycle clubs would help with that BS. Anyway, it happened. Uvalde law enforcement officials have drawn scrutiny for their handling over last week's school shooting. So, yeah, they're treating the press real nasty because the press is, you know, doing their job for one time where they're actually looking at them and saying, now, exactly why did you stand outside in the hallway for an hour when at first you told us that the guy was confronted by a school resource officer before he ever got into the school, and the guy was never confronted? In fact, the school resource officer was not even on the campus when it happened. Then you want to talk about a school teacher who propped the door open. I mean, what did that do for her credibility? How many death threats did she get behind for a week? The press saying that she propped a door open with a rock or something. Come to find out, she didn't prop the door open at all. The door didn't close and lock when it was supposed to. All these changing stories, and now you want to coordinate with bikers to arrest people that piss you off. And here it is on video. Here's another story. It's kind of interesting. Let's get to this story. Bikers working with police prevent reporters from covering Uvalde funerals. So I guess these guys are showing up at the funerals. Here's a biker that confronted Julian Gill, who was the one that was pissed off. Reporter trying to cover the Uvalde families laying their children to rest after school shooting on May 24th was prevented from going near the cemetery by bikers who claim they were working with the police. I wish the hell you would. They got the right reporter. The reporters I always worked with. I wish, man, wait till you see this. I wish the hell a reporter trying to cover the families was, gotten in the way of. On Thursday, June 2nd, Houston Chronicle health reporter Julian Gill attempted to cover the funeral. He was met with resistance from a group of bikers, according to the San Antonio Express news report. Let's look at this video. It's kind of interesting. This biker from the, I think they say who they are. Let's take a look at this. You'll find this interesting.
Pretty sad, all right?
So you got this reporter, Julian Gill, walking towards the funeral. He walks past the cop. And the cops, instead of doing anything to him, they've got their flunkies assigned to do something. And the cop doesn't have to do anything. That's kind of what they're saying. And so here you watch a cop stand by as somebody gets in a reporter's way, which the cop, I think, is supposed to, say, hey, no, you don't get to do that. But let's take a look at it. Let's see what happens here.
How's it going? How are you?
Doing good. With Lubbock PD?
Yes, sir.
We're Guardians of the Children. We're a nonprofit 501c3. We work with victims of child abuse, sexual assault.
Do you see how they're circling in on that reporter right there? I've been a reporter for a long time. I already know what's going on right here. What you're supposed to do is take a straight up. You don't let people corral you like that. But anyway, let's go on.
All things of that nature.
Okay.
We're out here to provide a nonprofit 501c3.
Okay, so we're going to back up we're going to let this guy talk about who his club is, and we're not going to interrupt that here. Here we go. Boom.
We're Guardians of the Children. We're a nonprofit 501c3. We work with victims of child abuse, sexual assault, things of that nature.
Okay.
We're out here to provide a little bit of comfort and support for the families, help give them some space.
Did the families ask you to come give them some space? But no one's interviewing you. So what are you walking up to me for? I'm trying to go over here and cover the funeral. But anyway.
Sure.
Let them grieve in peace.
Okay.
So, we just thought we'd come out, help some kids.
Sure.
We just thought we'd come out and help some kids. Okay.
Some families in need. How you doing today? Oh, man, don't.
Now, you see this guy steps in front of the camera. How you doing today? And he blocks his progress. Here it is right here. He cuts this man off and blocks his progress. He's obviously taller than the man because the camera's looking up at him. How are you doing today? Will you get the fuck out my way? What are you trying to intimidate me for? Move the fuck out my way. Huh.
Doing today? Oh man, don't.
I'm sorry.
Don't bump into me, dude.
I'm just trying to do my job, sir.
How you doing today? Oh man, don't.
I'm sorry.
Don't bump into me, dude.
Now he cuts this guy off, gets in his face and says, "Don't bump into me, dude." He'd have picked his ass up right up off the ground right then and there. Right then and there. It's right then and there. Don't bump into me, dude. Hey, don't start no shit. There won't be no shit out here in the ATL. Don't bump into me, dude. I was walking down the street, bro. You got in front of me. That's why you're getting your ass up off the ground right now.
How you doing today? Oh man, don't.
I'm sorry.
Don't bump into me, dude.
I'm just trying to do my job, sir.
I understand, but
I'm sorry. You.
Oh, get your girl. Get your girl. Whoa. You now you got a woman getting in between us?
Police officer?
We're working with the police. I asked us to be here.
You're working with police?
No. We are here to give the family space and time to grieve.
I just got you on video saying you're working with police.
Over here by the main gate for the cemetery.
I definitely just saw him assault you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So
No. I mean,
was standing here and you ran in.
I'm just trying to walk that direction.
It's assault.
battery, bro.
Say without permission.
Battery.
Technically, that's assault, and I'm a public servant. So,
Are you a police officer?
oh no, I'm not a police officer. I'm a paramedic.
Well, if you're not a police officer, what you doing in my face? Where do you get off pushing people and threatening people and harassing people and intimidating people? But then bikers always want to scream, "Oh man, you're calling us thugs. Oh man, you're saying we're in gangs." But you try to push that whole biker tough guy image off on people. And there's a cop right there. Right there. If that reporter is breaking the law, there's a cop right there. We always find ourselves, and we just can't keep from finding the wrong way to express ourselves publicly. We're just always the one. You know, as a guy who does do some reporting for a living, I see everybody. I get to see all the sides, and bikers are always the first ones to talk about, don't give us this image of being criminals and thugs, but you want to go do some thuggish ass shit right here on public television. Don't go bumping into me, dude. Like, you clearly stepped in his way and cut him off. He bumps into you. Now you want to rear up on the dude? Hey, listen, Black Dragon's always going to be on the side of right. You might not like reporters. I don't particularly like them either, depending on what they're reporting on. They're the first people you call, however, just like cops. We hate cops, but get your house broken into. They'll find someone dead on your front lawn. You're not getting ready to call your forensic motorcycle club team in. So, you know, the press is always bad guys unless they're doing something for you. But this thuggish, roguish, like vigilante behavior, well, I'm not the one. I'm sure glad I didn't get cut off. Sure glad I didn't get bumped into talking about, hey, don't bump into me, dude. Pop! It's on. It's on, bro. Keep your hands off me. Don't start none. And there won't be none. But anyway, I digress. Let me get back to the story.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well,
But you know,
this
as
way
a
is
public
open.
servant, that's kind of a felony.
So then he tells the guy, you bumped into me. You assaulted me. I'm a public servant. Oh, really? You're a cop? No, I am a paramedic. So you bumping into me is really kind of like a felony. You mean the felony you committed, right? Certainly you couldn't mean the felony I committed, since I didn't cut anybody off. I didn't bump anybody out here. You did that. But anyway.
This
As
way
a
is
public
open.
servant, that's kind of a felony.
Look, I'm not trying to disturb anyone, guys. I'm not trying to ask anybody any question. I just wanted to watch. Like, that's all we can do, and in a safe space, right?
I
Like,
You're gonna
understand.
watch it and record it?
I'm not
The
like, and I know.
cemetery itself has put out signs that says they do not want.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's disappointing. It's disappointing to me. I don't like bullying of any kind. And maybe that's what it was. You know, I was severely bullied as a kid. Benji True says, guardians of the children protecting cops that didn't protect children got their old ladies taking pictures of people's faces and saying, don't assault me when they bump into you. What a joke. Yeah. I don't like, I was severely bullied as a child. I was severely bullied up until I was about 12 years old. And I get this sweat that comes over me when somebody tries to bully me. That never again syndrome. Anyway, dozens of bikers from 3 clubs, Guardians of the Children, Thin Line Blue, LEMC, and Marines MC were assisting the police and firefighters in creating a boundary to prevent reporters from getting on the property. The blockade involved police officers and firefighters from Uvalde, Allen, Pearland, Conroe, and Lubbock. They made a perimeter around Rushing Estate Knolls Mortuary, Sacred Heart Memorial Church, and the Hillcrest Memorial Cemetery, and threatened to arrest reporters if they stepped near the cemetery grounds, the report says. The bikers and attendants physically obstructed cameras within designated media areas, followed reporters, and harassed them as they walked closer to the ceremonies, the reporter states. Outside the funeral proceedings, the Elhana Torres, one of the 19 children that were killed in the mass shooting at Rob, proceeding was for Elena Torres, one of the kids killed at the mass shooting school. Another unidentified another unidentified biker club member said in the video, "We're out here to provide a little bit of comfort and support for the families. We just want to give the families a safe and peaceful space." In the video, Gil tells the group that he is just trying to do his job and cover the funeral. So, I don't know, folks. I don't like to see bullying of any kind. Sure, it's very tough to deal with reporters, especially during these like terrible times. It's tough to deal with reporters. But in a free society where we want to know what's going on, the press, as appetizing as they are, the press is what gives us our information. Without the press, there's no information. So, it's one of those things that we deal with. Sometimes we like them, sometimes we don't. Sometimes they can be pushy little creeps. But when you make a line of people around them, I'm not upset if that line of people is the police department. The police job is to keep the peace. But that's not a firefighter's job. Because if a firefighter puts his hands on me, he ain't a cop. Do I get to deck him now? So I don't know. I don't like it. What if someone asks you to help out the BSMC Nation, wouldn't you keep out what they, I'm not sure what that question is. Somebody, this isn't I don't know. Is somebody want to draw a comparison to the club? Ask that question again so I can understand it. Seems no difference in the Patriot Guard in a way. So I don't know that the Patriot Guard does that. I know that they help get bodies to a funeral. They did that for me, our club, and I was really impressed with what they did. Do they stop people? Do they stop reporters from seeing? I do know that they did stop these protester people from such and such church that would get out there and say stuff like, God meant for this to happen or something like that. I do remember something like that. I can't remember exactly what they did. Maybe they got in the way of those people so they couldn't get to the church, to the funeral. Maybe they did that. Not sure. I don't want media taking any picture or video when I am grieving. They got no business at a funeral. Well, Hellfighter Steve, probably so. But if it's a public place, they have business at any public place. And just because you don't want them taking your picture, it doesn't mean they've broken any laws. You know what I mean? So Yeah, but draw a line and keep them out. Don't cause a problem, then complain to the police. I hope the family asked these guys to keep some space between themselves and the reporters. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Don't want to pose a threat. Don't want to constitute one, and just be a part of the environment is how I see it. Says SSW. Hard pressed in 2022. Babylon's tools, aka media for global rule. Oh yeah, well we can go there. That's that's another one. It's true. In time of need, an honorable lawman or honest outlaw will or can save your ass. Keep the door open, otherwise it will hit you in the well, we know what. Yeah, man. Yeah, the state of Texas doesn't allow transparency to its law enforcement operations or state government. Blocking the press is unconstitutional. But the Bill of Rights apparently doesn't matter in Texas. And blocking the press is unconstitutional. The press, though they can be intrusive. The press is responsible for many great breakthroughs in our society. Like, it was the press that let us know that the NSA was recording all of our phone calls. Jammin Rumi says a cemetery is not public. I would argue that it is a public place. Come on, Black Dragon, you know as well as anyone that the mainstream media lie, misrepresent, manipulate, and sensationalize everything they cover. Well, I don't think everything they cover, maybe 98%, but you got to realize that they are absolutely responsible for some good things, like the coverage. I can name some specific coverages that changed the way things are done in America. Like when folks were getting lynched and the media finally decided to cover it in such a way that the lynching stopped. So there are some good things that they've done too. I don't think any organization is all bad. Do you? Anyway, that's my show for today, man. I don't know. Somebody said it interestingly. The bikers are protecting the police who would not protect the children. That's an interesting way to look at it. I think it's stuff like this. We all are so we're all like so it's like road rage. Like, you two did not have to get in a shootout about that, but everybody's just so I can't believe you almost ran my car off the road. Everyone loves the Constitution and liberty until it's time to respect the rights of others, says Drew Black. Drew, I believe you 100% and agree with you. The press has a bad habit of overstepping their bounds. Yes, they do. But that biker overstepped his bounds. You could have formed a line and held your hands like this and refused to let anyone pass you. But to get in front of that man and bump him and then get rough on him because he's a little short cat looking up to you with his camera because you think he's a punk. Had he waylaid your behind with a billy club right at that exact moment, he would have been the bad guy. Okay, keep your hands off people. Don't be pushing on people. Don't step in people's way and all that old stuff. That's illegal too. And that's what we bikers get accused of, overstepping our bounds. That's the way I saw it. Yeah, the media is, it's easy to look down on them. It's easy to look down on the media and call them fake news and all these kinds of things. It's easy to do that. But he's got a job to do. If you guys weren't watching this stuff on television 24/7, they wouldn't be out there. We feed that. You don't want that to happen. Turn the show off. But you want to see what happened to those kids, and you want to know why those cops didn't cover those kids in the way that they're supposed to, and you want to know why those cops didn't run into that room in less than an hour, just as much as I do. We all want to know that. And it's not like they're coming to the podium and saying, okay, look here, we messed up. We want you to know that we could have gotten there in an hour and we didn't. And these 3 guys were afraid, and those 2 guys weren't trained, and those 2 guys, they're not doing that. The only way that's happening is Gil and the rest of them are out there asking those questions, man. That's what's doing it. That's what's doing it. Those guys working. I always remember Daniel Pearl, the first reporter that I knew of to get his head cut off for reporting on the news. We've lost like 10 or 15 news people over there in that Ukrainian conflict already. Dead. Lady just died on the West Bank trying to cover some news. Shot and killed on the West Bank over there. So don't you think that those folks who are trying to bring news coverage to you don't do so at great peril? It's not those reporters out on the ground that are making up fake news. It maybe the editors back in the newsroom, but the propaganda tool ain't somebody running around out there getting threatened to get his head chopped off. Just trying to keep it real. Like Electro Vibe says, you can't have it both ways. And any of you who think you can do it better, hey, man, you don't even have to work for them folks. You can get your own press pass and become a citizen journalist tomorrow. You can do it so much better. And start your InfoWars channel right on up, bro. See how good you can do. Oh, and Peter Birdsall says that. Let us become our own media, and we will hold each other accountable. We don't need Rothschild's media or magic paper money. Yeah. Hey, all you need is a YouTube channel, a microphone, headsets, and a camera. Bro, you're in there. All right. That's it for me today. Thank you guys for tuning in. And doing your thing out there. I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny and get the book. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book. And of course, you guys know I love these rings. My sister accused me of having demonic rings. How you gonna accuse me? She told me she was terrified of my rings, and she said each ring was more demonic than the one that I would previously put on. Each one was more terrifying than the previous one. And I don't understand how she could say that about my rings. My rings are cool. You know, you gotta have some cool rings if you're these are my rings, man. So if you like rings, like I like rings, biker rings, you can go here to Gothic Rings, gthic.com. Just like with the soap company, if you use your discount code of Black Dragon, you get you a very cool discount, 20% in this case. I like the Medusa ring, man. They got some very cool rings here. They got Masonic rings, So use these folks. They're pewter and all kind of stuff, silver, actual silver in these rings, and they've got stainless steel rings. Man, their rings are the bomb. I like them. I wear them. So get you some. Get you some, man. Get you some.
You are fake news.
Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust.
Biker News you can trust. Biker News you can trust. Biker News you can trust.
you